A White Stallion, Bandaids, and Life Learning. The morning air was warm and dry, spacious blue skies surrounded by colorful rock near our family lodging in Vernal, Utah. During some downtime for my husband and 4 of our children, I ventured out to explore beyond the fence line and walked toward a large field of alfalfa, which belonged to a neighboring farmer. I wanted to explore where I might be able to go jogging or bring the kids later on. Soon I saw a horse in the distance, and I heard people laughing and talking. I went toward the voices and the horse. The stallion was large, white, and beautiful. It had been a long time since I'd approached a horse. Very carefully, gauging his mood, I talked softly and approached him with a handful of grass. Hesitantly, he let me reach out and pet his nose, then his neck. I saw just a few feet away down a hill 2 women and 4 children playing in a swamp. They were watching me curiously. I approached them and introduced myself. I found out the senior lady was the owner, and she was there with her daughter and grandchildren. A positive, light-hearted conversation ensued. I asked if it would be all right if I bring my children later to the swamp. The older lady replied, "Yes, but it would be best not to if we are not here. My husband is particular about others being on the property due to liability issues." I said, "Okay, would it be all right if I came by myself later and gave your horse an apple?" She replied in the affirmative. We exchanged goodbyes, and I approached the horse one more time, who I had found out is named Tug, before leaving. I pet him once more and sang a gentle song before heading back to the B&B, intending to visit him again later that evening. Later on, after my family and I watched General Conference, a biannual televised conference held by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and had finished prep for dinner, a soft orange evening glow beckoned me out the door again. I took a slice of apple, piece of carrot and lettuce leaf from our salad remains, and ventured for the 4-minute walk to find Tug. This time as I got closer, I saw a man running hastily toward me on the trail from his house to the alfalfa field where I was headed. I quickened my pace to greet him and asked him about his beautiful horse. I saw he was very assertively walking toward me now. I called out with a friendly hello, but then I saw his face was very unhappy. He said, "You know, I could call the sheriff on you right now for being out on my property, young lady. You've got a lot of nerve to be wandering around here. My wife said this is the 2nd time you've come here, and that she told you that you were trespassing and that you should leave the property." For a split second, I thought he was joking. Then I felt a wave of shock and disbelief. I found myself respond as calmly as I could with, "I'm sorry, sir. I was under the impression I was okay to come back, but I certainly won't go on your property again." He also said that due to the risk of some horses reacting badly to things like carrots and contracting conditions such as colic, I shouldn't be feeding someone else's horse without permission. I said, "Of course, that is understandable." I also remembered that I had told the lady I was going to bring an apple, not a carrot. He continued to verbalize his displeasure as I turned around and left, and again reassured him I would stay away. All the way home I felt quite dazed. I was used to connecting positively with strangers and did not expect this man to be angry. Yet I knew I had violated his property, and now I knew firsthand that some people are fiercely protective of their property lines. I also realized his wife was probably much more soft on me than her husband would have been earlier that day if he had seen me there, and that she may have communicated something differently to him than what she told me to keep the peace. I came back home and briefly told some of my family what had happened, then went to the bedroom. Tears began to flow down my cheeks. I felt like I had received a harsh reprimand. In that moment I was a vulnerable child who had been spanked for something I didn't deserve. At the same time, I found my adult self resisting those emotions and saying to self, "He has that right. You did violate his property." But stop taking it so personally. It's silly to be crying over it. I succumbed to the tears anyway, and let myself cry. And it was quite liberating. This time, I found myself enjoying the release. I felt a touch of compassion, humility, and even a bit of gratitude as I sat there, wide open with raw emotion on this significant day in Vernal, Utah, which happened to be my 46th birthday. I believe strongly that, contrary to what we learn in our growing years, to allow oneself to cry and acknowledge feelings can be a strength. To allow others to see it and give them the opportunity to nurture can be a strength too. For me, repressing emotions, especially around others, including my family, has been a habit. In the past, a therapist told me I should let my husband see me cry, and I've been encouraged to even allow my children to see me cry. The thought came to me I should express some sadness to my husband. I came out of the room, not completely hiding the tears this time, and letting him know I was feeling reactive and sad about what happened. He was sympathetic to my situation, yet my family knows my free and sometimes careless side better than most. I perceived that my husband acknowledged that this man may be extra sensitive and upset about the situation, and that I should be mindful and careful, but that I had also clearly received more accepting communication and approval from his wife regarding the property. Later on, the owner of the B&B, who lived in the home right next to us, called us and said he talked to the angry farmer. I explained my side of what happened. I was told this man had been difficult to work with regarding property lines and other issues in the past, and that he really doesn't have him figured out. He consolingly encouraged me not to continue to feel bad about it. Soon afterwards, my mom and dad called me with a lovely piano and singing performance of Happy Birthday. I thanked them and told them about what just happened. They expressed love, reassurance, and confidence in me. I knew at that moment I am loved by them and many others. As I reflect, I recognize that God created me with a free and loving spirit. Sometimes those qualities bring joy to myself and others, and sometimes they can get me into a little bit of trouble. I believe that is true with many qualities we have, many strengths that can sometimes be a weakness. You can flip that statement around also in a way. We are all painfully aware of our inadequacies and weaknesses. Yet I have been taught throughout my life that through coming to the Lord, He can help those weaknesses turn into strengths. I'm still learning how to recognize and utilize this gift and ability from Him.